Welcome back to Unscripted, the show where one conversation turns into way too many tangents. And today, hold up, because this episode, Christmas got real weird real fast. We went from talking about holiday vibes straight into myths, legends, ancient traditions, and all the stuff nobody ever told you growing up. From Santa's dark origins to strange global traditions, to the parts of Christmas that low-key make zero sense. We dove deep. So grab a drink, kick back, let's unwrap the truth behind Christmas together. Because this episode is going to feel like finding out Santa wasn't real all over again. And I just want to take 30 seconds of your time. Not even that, just a few seconds. From the team here at Unscripted, we want to wish everyone a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. Thank you for your support in our journey so far. For us to keep bringing you videos like this, we really emphasize how important it is to us for you to like, comment, and subscribe on this video if you really enjoy it. And even if you don't, and you just like listening to it in the background, that's completely fine. But the team at Unscripted, we want to thank everyone. Your support means the most. Alright, I'll let you get into it now. Bye.
Hello and welcome to this episode of Unscripted. Once again, Dylan, Chad, and myself, Fabian, are here to talk about conversations. Hold on, that's bad. Let me reset.
No resets, brother. That's just how it is.
We're going to have a conversation that's unscripted, which I suppose means it's also unfiltered. So, welcome to this episode of Unfiltered. Chad, would you like to kick us off with a bit of a prompt?
No.
What are we talking about? Just so that they're aware that it is the Christmas season, so it is the season to be jolly. Da 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 da.
In this jolly season, we'll be talking about the things that make it special. Some of those things include the rituals of Christmas, the mythology of, where it came from, and how it's developed in modern times. We're just going to explore the topic area. Something that really interests me in this sphere of conversation is how connotations of myth change across time. And so recently, for the logistics stuff, I was trying to figure out a name for the second project, the second app, and it's really hard to find names that aren't taken. But I was looking at names like Argo, which I think was this legendary boat, mythical boat that would cross the seas. And
isn't it a security company?
Every name's taken. But Atlas, who held up the celestial spheres, that's kind of moving. A lot of people connotate it now with holding up the earth, but it's not the earth at all. It's the celestial spheres holding up the sky. And so it's really interesting how rituals and mythological stories adapt across time. And so Christmas is a good example. Not that I know the details, but there's a lot of origins where it was more pagan, right?
Yeah,
now
but then there's also that whole conspiracy that Coca-Cola invented Santa Claus.
I don't know if they invented it. How old is Coca-Cola?
1930.
1930.
Coca-Cola is the reason that we see Santa in his red and white suit nowadays.
Yeah.
Before
Rather than
that,
the green.
he was a mix of different colours and costumes.
Let's bring back Rainbow Santa.
Nicholas Claus, or Saint Nick, has always been Father Christmas, right?
Saint Nick. Yeah, I forgot about that.
And then there's Krampus, which is the Swedish derivative of, I think it's Swedish or something like that. When Christmas comes around, Krampus will come along and do something.
Yeah, he looks like a devil or an alpine beast.
Yeah.
He would drag chains behind himself and had goat horns. And, yeah.
It's kind of cool. I like the alpine beast.
Yeah, okay.
That sounds kind of cool.
Does he give you gifts, or is he just like an evil being that comes around at Christmas time? And
so he's the frightening companion to Saint Nick, punishing naughty children during the Christmas season. Normally on Krampus night, which is December 5th, while Saint Nicholas rewards the good children. Krampus threatens or beats the bad ones with birch twigs, stuffing them into a sack or basket to carry them away to his lair.
Damn.
What happens at the lair?
It was rooted in paganism.
Damn.
I don't know a lot about paganism. Do you guys?
Well, I am a pagan.
Are you serious?
You're a pagan.
Can you explain that to me?
A pagan is someone that comes to another land.
So what is paganism? actually like about then?
Like the Norse were called pagans because they invaded Britain or whatever, and they believed in different gods. And so anyone that doesn't believe in Christianity or such is a pagan.
Right. So it's just kind of like a label that's you're separate from this.
Yeah, I may
Okay.
have the facts wrong, but I'm pretty sure that's fairly accurate.
I must say my faith in the facts is
A
shaky.
pagan, according to Google, is someone who follows a diverse nature-based spiritual path, often polytheistic, worshipping multiple gods or goddesses, and rooted in ancient traditions rather than Abrahamic religions like Christianity.
Abrahamic
So
religion.
I wasn't far off
The
with my
term comes
description.
from Latin for country dweller, originally used by Christians to label non-believers.
Yeah.
But modern pagans have reclaimed it to describe practices honouring the earth's natural cycles and ancestral spirits.
It's very cool. I think that's a very healthy idea.
I don't know if you ever watched The Vikings, the TV series.
Yep.
No.
That's where I got my understanding of paganism from, because Ragnar Lothbrok was depicted as a pagan within his own kind and with the Christians, because he was going down a Christianity path even though he believed in all the Norse gods as well. And yeah, he went and got baptized and everything, and it was pretty interesting. But one thing I want to actually kind of figure out is how Christmas even like came to be. I mean, there must be like definitive answers.
There are different theories on how it came about.
Yeah. Have you got any ideas there?
I've got zero idea about this.
No.
I've
Alright.
like no knowledge on Christmas really.
So, according to Google, it was Christians that celebrated Jesus' birth on December 25th. Whether that's actually true or not, considering Christianity has taken over a lot of the world these days, they could have rewritten history to say that they were the first ones. But it was chosen on the 25th of December to correlate with the winter solstice, which a lot of other countries already had traditions and things around it.
Unlike New Zealand here, we get a summer solstice.
Yeah, I'm feeling it today. Woof.
Well, even though the weather doesn't know what to do with itself with the clouds above, but it still feels like summer, and it's nice.
But yeah, our modern, like Santa Claus and Christmas, was only popularised in the 19th century
Yeah, that makes a lot
by
more sense.
American authors and illustrators.
And then all the movies came to be.
So what were the like main celebrations, traditions prior? Was it just the solstice sort of periods and that was kind of it? Was New Year a big thing 500 years ago for most
Yeah,
like societies?
I'd imagine it would have been.
It's just interesting in that. I wonder what like the next new holiday will be in the future.
Well, a lot of them had similar things, but a lot of them seem to be more terrifying children into acting how
Obedience.
you want them to.
Yeah.
So in Germany they have Belsnickel.
Bowsnickle.
Bell Snickle.
Sounds like a Dota 2 character.
Sounds like a Snicker bar ad story.
Sounds like
Little
someone that's going to try
Belsnickle.
and go into the church, steal all the bells, and snicker away. Eating Snickers, walking down the street, picking up your mum's knickers.
Oh, okay.
I don't know, what does Bowsnickle do?
Hopefully not that part.
So he would visit children alongside Saint Nicholas.
A bit like
During
Krampus.
his visits, he would punish children who needed to correct their behaviour.
Very much like Krampus. Krampus.
This makes
Very
me think of the boogeyman, you know?
Yeah.
It's like, don't disobey this or that. The boogeyman will get you. You got to follow me.
Yeah. Baba Yaga.
Yeah. Did you ever get those stories growing up?
No.
No, not really.
I had a
have
tiny
done-
bit of the boogeyman's out there.
What I have done with my stepson is we'll still do like Santa, but he'll get a couple potatoes each year. That was my nan's idea, and so those potatoes would-be gifts if he had have been better in certain scenarios.
Oh, I
So
like
it's
that.
like, hey, you could have had more presents, but you haven't been on your best behaviour, so you get a couple potatoes.
Interesting.
And he loved it. He turned around to everyone and went, Santa got me potatoes and blah, blah, blah. And
Wow. Yes, simple things like that.
So there is
one
Frau
thing-
Perster in Austria and Bavaria, is a
The
witch who
what?
comes to see children who have been naughty or nice. She slits the bellies of bad children and stuffs their corpses with straw.
Okay,
It's kind of like Santa bringing coal, but with disembowelment.
that is hectic.
I'll vote for the coal one, please.
So one thing, like, I know I did, and I loved as a kid, was like waking up on Christmas Day, going into my parents' or my mum's bedroom, waking up my sisters, and we're like, "Can I open my present? Open my present!" And then I'd go into the lounge and be like, "Oh my God, Santa's been here! All the presents are under the tree! Oh my gosh! Oh, did the reindeers eat the carrots I put out for him, Mum? Can I go have a look?" And then they'd have like carrots and fake hoof prints and ice and shit just like
That's
made
cool,
up.
man.
And that was like the most enjoyable time of Christmas as a kid. And
That's
I
wholesome.
wouldn't want to take that away from kids.
I find
That's
that
wholesome.
it puts too much focus on the getting of things rather than the giving of things, which I think is more the true spirit of Christmas in our modern day and age. It's about giving appreciation to the people that you love through a sentimental or personal gift,
Giving them memories and
which
shit.
I've tried to teach to my stepson over the past couple of months as we're getting things, because we'd go to a shop to buy something for his mum, say, and he'd point at everything and go, "I want this, can I have this, can I have that?" And it'd be, no, this is not about getting yourself things, this is about showing your mum that we love her and getting her something for her to show that appreciation.
Because he's almost 6 now? 7?
Just over 5. So he's still learning.
Ah, he's
Well,
gonna...
this is an interesting one, the Yule cat in Iceland.
The Yule cat.
Okay.
So the Yule cat essentially, it says here, like Satan, walking among us like a roaring lion seeking whom he may devour, the massive Yule cat lopes through town in the dark, peering into the lighted windows of children's bedrooms. The only way to save yourself from being eaten by the Yule cat is to show him that you got new clothes for Christmas.
Wow.
This year.
I like that story. That's fun.
The Yule cat.
So
New
if you
clothes.
didn't get new clothes, you left out old clothes and hoped that they met the god's standards. Otherwise, you would be eaten.
Wonder
if
what
you-
that was
what
about.
if you just turned around and ate the cat?
I feel like that was like old retailers being like, we need them to buy clothes for
I reckon.
Christmas.
I reckon that
The
makes
Yule
a
Cat.
lot of sense.
Introducing the Yule Cat in a city near you.
Because where was it? In Iceland.
Iceland, yeah.
Yeah.
That's kind of fun. All right, what do we need to create to get people using a logistics app?
What do we need to create?
Yeah, what
Yule
kind
cat.
of mythical monster?
The Yule cat.
If
bro.
you didn't move and have a digital receipt. Ooh.
If you don't use this app by the end of the year, the Yule cat will come and get you.
Man, I don't think these stories would be able to create
Hey,
that momentum anymore, but maybe they
but
can.
you can create a lot of fictional videos nowadays and people believe it.
That is true. That is true.
So
Yeah.
we're using true fiction.
Yeah, there's most of the like non-Christmas origins around Christmas and beliefs and stuff that they had in older times is like essentially killing children that aren't good.
Is it? Do
So
parents
in
just use that
France-
excuse just to get rid of the kids that they didn't like?
Oh, hell, that's
who
terrible.
knows?
It's a crazy idea.
Yeah. Makes you think though. It's just like pretty fortunate we're not. we're
What-
not
what-
So in
year
France,
are these
there is
stories from?
Hans Trap.
Hunstrap.
And so Hans Trap was a local man renowned for his greed. He used witchcraft and deals with the devil to become rich, and after becoming excommunicated from the Catholic Church, he lost everything and roamed the countryside disguised as a scarecrow. He became consumed with the idea of tasting human flesh and lured a shepherd boy to his death, then cooked him over a fire. Before he could take his first bite, however, God finally felt that things had gone too far and struck him with lightning.
Is this a
Hans
Christmas
died,
tradition?
but he returns on Christmas to go door to door looking for young, tasty children.
Wow.
And this is in France.
Yep.
Wow. What year?
What
was
year?
that?
Yeah, where are these stories from? They're like recent.
This is just a general overview of like the terrors around Christmas.
Is
terrors
I
around
guess like New
Christmas.
Zealand is not really.
But the thing that's weird is that this is in multiple different countries that haven't, or, you know, at the time where these kind of things would have been going on, I'm guessing it would be, you know, 18th century and before, they still all had quite similar stories that go through. So there's one for Greece, Bulgaria, Serbia and Turkey, I'm guessing they're neighbouring, and it was the Kali Kantzari are goblins who spend most of the year underground trying to bring about the apocalypse. And they come out onto human territory to cause mischief and evil.
Intriguing.
It makes you think, it's just like how all of these stories are very, very
It
similar.
also makes the point that
Archetype.
they are usually male, and it says here grotesquely well endowed.
Wow.
For whatever reason,
Well endowed.
they've made that a part of it.
Well, because the ideal man used to have a chiseled body with a small penis.
Or in Switzerland, France
That's
and
what,
Belgium,
like you look at all the
there was a
old
man who kidnapped
strong
robbed
men
wealthy
back in the
children.
days that have like their whole statues and whatnot. They all have really small penises. You never see one with a fucking well-endowed penis.
Where's that?
Those like Greek statues and all that. And the
Yeah, but
mythological
that's because
statues.
back in that time period, having a smaller
Penis.
package was
You could say penis.
considered like better. You had more social stance the smaller your
Exactly.
dick was.
Most slaves had the well-endowed package. It's a bad thing to say. Don't listen to slavery. Don't promote slavery. It's bad.
It's cool, these stories. I really like the, what was it, the Yule Cat?
Yeah.
I like
Yeah,
that one.
so
That's
there
cool.
is more to that. There is Gryla, the Yule Lads, and the Yule Cat.
Yeah. So you
So
know
Gryla
all of
was an
these
ogre.
stories, they have like very similar traits where people get hurt around Christmas time every year. But if you look at it now, do you see that many things happening like that?
You mean the like actual reality of these things going on?
No,
or-
because like they must have written a story like this for a reason, because people must, like around those times every year, people must have been getting killed and they didn't know what to pin it on because they couldn't find the killers or anything like that. So they just had to pin it on something, so they came up with this artificial being that's just going around killing little kids, where it could just be a pedophile, rapist, or something like that.
I don't know if it was particular to that time of year, things were happening more than any other time of year. I think it's just, you know, the energy of a season creates more like gravity where things kind of like lock in more, you know? Like if you think of New Year's, you can usually think of memories, right?
Mhm.
You think of whatever time period, you can usually associate memories. But then if I say Tuesday, the 12th of April, you don't really have anything for it. And so
Tuesday,
that'd be
the
my
12th
assumption.
of April. Isn't it Valentine's Day?
That's 14th of February.
Oh, wow.
But yeah, so I don't know. That'd be my assumption, that it just kind of like builds weight.
Superstition.
Yeah, and superstition. Yeah,
Yeah.
memorable part of the
So-
year. So you'd,
To answer
Things
your
stand
question
out.
on when New Year's began, it was around 4,000 years ago in ancient Mesopotamia.
wow.
Where
Babylon.
is ancient Mesopotamia? Mesopotamia. Sounds like it's from
So
South America.
it was a festival called Akitu to mark the first new moon after the spring equinox.
How do you spell
which
Akitu?
Evolved, A-K-I-T-U. And it evolved into an 11-day religious festival celebrating cosmic renewal and new kingship.
Whoa.
Later, the Romans set January 1st as the new year, honouring the god Janus, a date solidified by Julius Caesar's Julian calendar and eventually globally adopted with the Gregorian calendar in 1582.
1582, eh? Wow.
Janus.
The celestial renewal thing sounds amazing. 11
What
days
is a
of that.
celestial renewal?
I guess they're just talking about like a renewal that is universal in that way.
So before the Gregorian calendar, we had the Julian calendar. I haven't actually seen much about that.
Is that the 13-month one?
It was a solar calendar with 365 days and a leap day every 4 years. Weirdly, how did they know that back then?
Because they paid more attention.
Advent calendars?
No, it still looks like there is 12 months.
And there could have been more. I know, because there's 365 days. There could have been more days in one month than the other.
Well, the 13-month calendar They used to have like proper balance with the moon cycles and such, and it used to fill in the days really well. It had a nice consistency to it.
The
didn't it?
13 month.
Yeah.
Maybe they don't like the number 13, so they changed it to 12.
Seemed to make a lot more sense having it, is because then the same days of the week would land on the same dates of the month, and something like that. Yeah. Theoretically, it sounded like a good thing.
Yeah.
I don't know enough detail to say more.
Nah.
Well, some ancient cultures use calendars with 13 months, mostly linked to lunar cycles, because there are around 13 full moons per solar year.
Yeah.
Is there?
But they were adjusted with extra feast days to match the sun's cycle. A 13-month system was proposed in the early 20th century with
Really?
13 months of 28 days plus an extra day, but it was never widely adopted beyond a few companies.
Wow. Man, yeah, that mathematically sounds better.
So it was mostly aligned with the lunar cycles when they did it in past, not for...
But what my
like
question
the
is,
sound of
why
that.
do we need like a measurement for time and day and year?
Communication mostly. I'll see you in 14 days at this place, at this time. Communication.
Yeah, I guess that's pretty befitting. Yeah.
Yeah, if you didn't have to worry about anyone and anything and any external forces necessarily, I guess it would be alright.
Mostly to plan for the future.
What about the past? I guess the past is the past. You can't plan for
Well,
it.
I guess it's to
Where were
record
you?
the past as well.
2 days ago, Dylan. We need to know.
Yeah, it's all a time-based
question.
construct.
I don't know where I was 2 days ago.
Neither do I.
I was all over the show. I think I might have been in Las Vegas.
I don't believe it.
I could have been in Mexico. Could have been in France. Could have been in Prague. Who knows?
Speaking about travel, I don't know if it's legit. I took a screenshot. It looks like Dubai, they're offering like free visa for New Zealanders until the end of the month or something. And if you register a company over there, could be a total scam, but
No, it definitely sounds like something Dubai would do.
sounds cool. So I need to follow up on that.
Yeah,
I'd be very
become
interested
the
in that.
next Dubai prince. Have 15
I wonder
wives.
what the stories were if they're like places that were like the Wild West around Christmas, or places that were more desert-like. Does it change based on?
No, because that still gets snow and shit, hey?
Did they
I'd imagine
in the Wild
so.
West?
Yeah,
Man,
surely.
I missed that film. I missed the snow episode.
Surely. Because like sometimes Texas snows. And that's where a lot of the Wild West was, wasn't it?
I don't know enough, hey.
Wild West. The cowboys come gunslinging, taking your money from your bank.
But yeah, to tie it back to Christmas, I find it interesting how all of these started as quite a dark origin of be good or else this evil thing will come and dismember you or kidnap you or things like that, to now where it's more
Happy, joy.
about spreading joy and having a community-focused event where you do catch up with relatives and family that you don't normally come into contact throughout the year all the time, and just an excuse to bring everyone together.
Yeah, it kind of makes sense because a lot of the stories and whatnot were very dark in those days and eras. That like they were going through a lot of hardships, so much more hardships than what we could ever imagine going through in a day-to-day life.
Certainly.
Yeah. If their crops didn't grow, they'll have no food until the next season.
I still think it's turned into too much of a commercial holiday, though.
Oh,
along with
100%.
everything else. I kind of like the idea. I can't remember, it was some TikToker made a video on it, and it was everyone buys themselves a gift that they really want. And then you sit down around your Christmas tree in the morning or afternoon with your family and open your presents, but you open your present that you've wrapped for yourself, and then you get to explain to everyone why it's so cool and why you got it for yourself.
Honestly,
and
I
all
quite
of
like
that.
this idea.
So that you don't spend thousands of dollars buying every member of your family a gift.
Just
You don't
spend
get
$1,000 on
overloaded
yourself.
with gifts and with the expectancy of being happy or surprised at what you get, even if you don't like it that much. and then everyone else gets to learn more about you as a person based on what you've brought and the passion behind you.
Alright, do you guys want to do this? We don't have to do it on Christmas, but like I'd be keen to do that. Just hang out, get ourselves something that we've been wanting.
Yeah, all depends on when.
I just reckon that's a real cool idea.
I like that idea a lot.
We could do that. I think it'd be quite fun. We could probably do it on the next cast or the next cast after.
That could be cool.
Just
Let's
open
follow
a
up.
present and say this is what we wanted, and we got ourselves a little present.
Wrap an entire card.
But then it takes the consumerism out of it and brings a little bit more connection than what we currently do, I reckon.
I like the higher intention behind it, rather than the whole like filling of check boxes. You know, I've got this many people that I want to celebrate, and I want to do it in this way, and I want to meet it at this level, and it becomes very like metric heavy, rather than the ritual element sort of becomes less.
I swear, like
weighted.
as you get older, you don't need all those like monotonous gifts that you get from people. Like, it's great that they thought of you, right? But then all of a sudden,
Yeah, it is more for children.
you're just stacking it up. Exactly.
Even now that we're learning more about child development and things like that, they're saying that it's actually better to give your child a few quality gifts than a whole bunch of shit from everyone.
It is.
Because then they learn to use their imagination more with the things they have, rather than be overstimulated with everything and use stuff once and then dump it because they've got 50 other toys to play with and things like
Right.
that.
That's why if I ever buy my niece something, I just buy her something that she can just.
Oh,
pick
now I'm
up
seeing
and
a big
throw away.
trend of people just taking all toys away from their kids, and it sounds real harsh,
Wow.
but it means that they're, 100 years ago you didn't get all these toys for Christmas. Toys are a relatively modern invention. Before, they'd go outside and they'd find sticks and rocks
And
and
make their own
everything
toys.
and make their own.
Did a lot of that growing up.
So
It was fun. It was cool.
Same here.
Crossing
There was
over the
more
country.
creativity, and it made you actually think more and more critically on different avenues rather than toys where normally they have one function and that's it.
It makes
And
me
it's
think
pretty easy to get bored of that one function and move on to something else.
Makes me
Yeah.
think of like video games. I don't have anything against video games. I think they're cool, but there's a huge difference qualitatively with how it enables social interaction. Just as like growing up, there'd be days where I'd go to someone's place and play video games, and it was cool and it was fun, but then time would just like disappear. It'd be dark, and you'd be like, "Oh, we just sat in this room the whole time," and I kind of got like a bit of a headache now, and I feel slightly nauseous from the motion, and I barely looked at you the whole time.
Yeah.
And then you have those days where you go out and it's the countryside, and I remember a great friend of mine, and
so much
we
more fun.
we were going across all these farms, and there's those like cow runs that go underneath the road and such,
Yeah.
and we were going along, right, and we got to one of them, we went under the road and saw, there was all these houses. And so we turned back and we're like, well, we should probably climb up and go on the road because we didn't want to go all the way back through where we came, And we were humming and hawing, and he didn't want to go out because it was too much of a climb. And then we hear this noise and we turn around and there's this big cloud of like dirt and all that. And a massive tractor is just coming straight towards us. We both freak out. We both run up and jump up and get on top of the bridge. And we actually end up running separate ways, and we didn't have our phones. And so I ran that way, he ran this way, and we had no idea what was going on. And eventually, like, my friend came down and we started walking the road that way. We were so far away from home, had no idea where we were going. We ended up at the Brooklyn Zoo, I think it was, or what's that zoo? The one with the lions?
Pulakai?
Is that at the Pulakai Zoo? And tried to call home, no one picked up, kept walking. And fortunately found a friend's house that I'd remembered from a while back. So it was cool, That's so different from sitting in a room playing Call of Duty Zombies for an afternoon.
Call of Duty
So different.
Zombies was so good.
It's a great game.
What would your favourite memory along those terms be?
Going out to the farm and killing some possums.
Oh,
I don't know. I used to do all sorts of shit. We'd just go out and milk some cows.
Yeah.
is this the story with the possum in the tree trunk?
The what?
Oh yeah, maybe I heard that from someone else. Don't worry about
The
it.
tree trunk.
No, it was a brutal story.
No, we one memory I will always stick with me. We're out in the middle of nowhere. It was like a good 3-hour drive from where we are now. And we were just in the old farm. We were just playing with the dogs. And we're like, oh, fuck, let's go for a walk and go hunting some rabbits with our dogs, because they had some little dogs that would fit into the rabbit burrows.
Oh, wow.
And then we went and did that. And then on our way down, we were walking there, and this fucking possum fell out of the tree and just fell right in front of us. So we just went and got a little stick or something and just... We're all like 8 or 9 years old. We're like, die, possum, die.
Holy.
But,
we
you
were
know,
different
it's
8-year-olds.
it's very common in New Zealand just to kill possums because they're pests, and then you can sell their fur. And like quite often you just go shoot them all the time. Just go sell their fur.
I did that quite often when I was younger as well, growing up, go hunting, get the possum population down and earn some money at the same time.
Because they do a lot of damage.
They do heaps of damage.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Like around Christmas time, I'd always go out visit my family on their farms and stuff.
Yeah, I remember going out to my uncle's place and he had like this tiny little shed that they'd converted into their living space while they were planning on building this big house down the bottom, which didn't end up happening. But it was a very steep property, and probably a third of it was just forest, like real old forest. And I remember my cousin was real into like fairies and that whole aspect of like
Nature.
you know, yeah, just fairies and goblins and all that kind of stuff. So we'd run through and make up all of these stories about what was happening. And I remember one day we were like walking through and found this nice clearing and kind of went, you know, that'd be a nice place for a rope swing. So we ran back up to the house and went, hey, can we have a bit of rope? And all we needed was a rope and a stick. Got my uncle up the tree to tie it off and stuff, and we'd just spent hours and hours on this massive rope swing, because these trees were probably a good 30-40 metres tall.
Whoa. Your uncle went up 30, 40 metres? Or?
He was an arborist, so he was used to
Wow.
climbing trees and stuff. But
Damn.
yeah, he went up and tied it off, and
Wow.
I don't know if he did it like that day, but I remember going back and just playing on this rope swing for hours and hours and hours.
Whoa.
And yet nowadays, kids have so many options that, like, we set up a trampoline for my stepson, and he'll use it for maybe 5 to 10 minutes before he wants to go on to the next task, because he's used to just
chill
this
on the trampoline
constant
for hours.
overstimulation and different things and all of that kind of stuff, and the brain doesn't actually process properly when you're put in that kind of environment.
I remember the trampoline
you
growing
have to
up.
let
That
him
was an
watch
insane
WWE.
I
amount
used
of
to
fun.
spend
You gotta
hours
watch
on the
them-
trampoline by myself.
He's got to watch some
AirPods in.
WWE,
I used to do it with
man.
my brother, like,
He's
Yeah.
got to watch
Man,
WWE
forgot about that.
so he can come wrestle you, Chad.
Yeah, I remember when we first got my trampoline, we got it as like a joint present, me and my older sisters, for Christmas when I was about 5. And the next year, I can't remember whose it was, but there was a 21st party that happened at our house. And I remember waking up to like the noise of this party. It was only like 8:30, 9 o'clock at night. And walking outside to see what was happening, and the whole entire trampoline was filled with people from this 21st party, all having a bounce and a go at
was it one with the
time and all
nets,
that
or,
kind of stuff.
or
No,
was it just open?
old
yeah.
school trampoline,
Cool.
no mats, no nothing, springs,
Oh,
proper
yeah.
bounce, so you
Oh.
actually went high. And I just remember going out and thinking that it looked like so much fun to just be part of that group and stuff like that. I think I did
That
join
sounds
for a
See,
little
my
bit
shared
before I got
trampoline
kicked
story
How
is
many
not as
people
cool as
were on there?
It was packed. There would have been at least 20 people on this trampoline,
Jesus.
Wow.
and like touching the ground pretty much with all of the weight and stuff
Damn, that
like
does
that.
sound fun,
But
man.
then we'd go over to the neighbour's place and climb up on their shed and jump off onto the trampoline and all that kind of stuff. And you don't really see that these days because everything's a bit too PC and everyone wants to protect their children from any harm. And it's like those situations are actually what teaches you what to look out for.
Yeah.
You don't know not to jump off that roof onto the trampoline until you've tried it a few times and realise what works, what doesn't, what's too far and where the limits are. But
I used to always
children
do that,
aren't given the freedom to actually do that.
To be fair, I wasn't one of those who was jumping off the roof onto a trampoline myself.
Oh, I didn't do it often because I was shit scared.
I did it
but
all the time, man.
I still had the experience of doing it a couple times and going, whoa, nah, I'm going to break myself doing that. to actually stop and learn those boundaries.
There must be
Whereas
something broken with me because
with all
I have
these
so much
nets and
fun.
different things now, kids don't know their boundaries, and they're almost more likely to injure themselves because they don't have that experience of this is actually going to harm me and this won't.
Makes me think of the, growing up with lots of control and then rebellion switch, where there's all this obedience, especially in like rule heavy households, and then, the time comes when it's on them, and because there's a lack of internal governance, I suppose, there's just no restraints to some level.
Oh, it kills the imagination too when you always have a toy that corresponds to one task and nothing else. And so once that task's done, you don't normally get, well, with my stepson, he's not turning that toy into something else that he can use in a different way.
Yeah.
It has that one function, and if it's not getting used for that function, he goes, nah, I'm bored, I need to do something else.
Do you know what I loved growing up was actually, like the Jenga blocks, like Jenga towers and stuff?
Yeah.
I'd make those into like castles and walls and forts and stuff. Use Lego men and make this a whole game, right?
Yeah.
Where you'd roll a dice and you could move the Lego men, like if it's a free Jenga blocks, and if you landed on the enemy's one, then he's gone and he's out of the game. And you're trying to get the king, and there'd be catapults. You roll a 6, you can shoot a catapult and knock down the walls with a marble and stuff. Dice to, if you rolled like a 2, you can move 2 blocks worth of men.
Jesus.
Like Jenga blocks. If you
That
rolled
was,
like
that was so intricate. I never got that far in my game design when I was making.
Oh, I
games
made
as
so
a
many
kid.
games when I was growing up.
I'd always play war. I just grab all my everything that I have. I'll build like a house and a wall or something, and then I'll just grab everything. Say if I had a friend over, that'd be the enemy team. I'd be on the other team, and then I'd always win because I made up the rules every single time.
No, I love strategy stuff growing up, and so that was something that I really enjoyed. Was like you'd make and design your own fort. You had the same amount of like wooden blocks, Jenga blocks, or just the normal like square pieces, triangle pieces, whatever. And you'd build your forts. You'd try to make them resilient so that they were catapult proof and stuff. And then if you rolled a 5, it'd be like a marble, or a 6 would be the middle ball bearing or something. And you'd just try and get the king, and he had to be accessible. It was cool, man.
That's intense.
It was fun. It was really fun.
You could make a game like that nowadays, and people would probably be pretty into it.
It's a great game. It was so much fun.
Well, is there any games like that? No.
I have no idea. I don't think so. Yeah.
Is it?
What am I doing?
Avenue.
That's just my childhood.
It kind of reminds me of like
I had so many board games.
Warhammer.
Yep.
But with like movable pieces.
Yeah, I guess I mean it's pretty much the same, although that one's very expensive.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. Like you could do something like Warhammer, right? But then actually put moving pieces so you can do catapults that actually fire into a wall and shit and then destroy their bases.
Something I genuinely want to do, and I don't have the means to pursue this now, not really even the time, is to actually make like mechs, like little mech robot things that work with their like servos and stuff, that have like a bunch of combos where you can pre-configure patterns to have like a miniature war or something like that. And they'd be like little spider things, so maybe you'd have like 3 each or
like
something.
Battleship or something.
Not exactly like Battleship, but like just a way where it's like remote control and you have to like knock off the panels to expose them or something, and it's all magnetic, and it's just like a combat game, but they have like powers and maybe they drop mines or something, but you can't see them.
My
and it's all
stepson has a simplified
digital
version of that.
Really?
He's got 2 battle bots, but their fists, their shoulders, their legs, everything
comes off.
You can smack off.
That is cool.
Yeah.
How much does something like that cost?
I'm not sure. It was a Christmas present last year.
That's cool.
But it's one of those things that he'll use once, and because it's only built for that purpose, he loses the novelty of it pretty quickly, and it just sits there on the shelf for another 6 months.
But you play with someone else, right? It's competitive? Yeah, kind of like a game of chess. So I guess chess is kind of linear in that way too. So I get what you mean, like having something that's versatile.
I'm going to change the topic.
Nothing's better than a good old stick branch, right?
What, as a kid, or like even growing up, what was the one present that left like the biggest memory for you?
I got two.
Okay.
So one of them was a Lego castle from the Lego castle,
And it can be good or bad.
These are both good. And I got that, and it was so awesome, building it and everything. I could just ramble. And then the second one was my first pet rabbit. My cousin had a pet rabbit growing up. His name was Nibbles.
Yeah.
And he was black and fluffy, and I really wanted a rabbit. And I woke up and everything was normal, and then it was like, oh, your present's actually in this room, and I go in that room, and there's a little like rabbit hutch, and there's a rabbit.
How about
in
you,
there.
Chad?
I was like this, and like on the ground. I was like, thank you, it's so cool, and it was like 7. It was cool. It was so cool.
Did you end up eating the rabbit?
Sadly, the rabbit didn't live like past a year. It got the Clecies virus.
Oh, so you didn't eat it.
It was very sad, very sad. I remember that day massively.
Rabbits are cool
Rabbits
pets
are like
to
one of
have.
the best animals to raise for protein.
They're wonderful pets to have for wholesome memories as well.
They actually sell whole guinea pigs in certain parts of Australia as a meal, and apparently
Australia's
it's a
doing it.
real economic way of growing things because of how fast they reproduce
Yeah.
and grow to a meal
That
size.
doesn't surprise me. I'd be
That's
I'd be
weird to
down
think
try
about, eh?
that.
But on the topic of rabbits, I said rabbits growing up, and we'd name them after food. So we had stew, curry, roast, those kind of things. And they were actually very intelligent and like in-house, like would go through the cat door and stuff like that.
Oh, that's cool.
And you'd sit there and go, Stu, you better, fucking stop what you're doing, because they'd like chew the wires behind your TV and stuff like that, or you're going
Classic.
in the pot, and they'd know, and they'd run out of the house and fucking, yeah.
Wow, you had a good communication there. Yeah, they were pretty intelligent animals. I had many rabbits that would always, use the same corner in a cage or something to go to the bathroom. And there was this one time where one of them went for a walkabout, somehow got out of the cage. I was devastated. And the neighbor comes over carrying him, and his leg's twitching because he has to pee. And I was just like, oh no, he's got to pee, and so run him to the cage, and he sorts himself out. But it's just cool,
I've never had a pet
He'd
rabbit.
rather put himself through discomfort to do it that way. And I was like, wow, that's awesome.
So, Chad, do you have any memorable presents around Christmas time, whether it's good or bad?
I wouldn't have been visited by the Yule Cat, because I technically got new clothes, but yeah, like my parents were split when I was younger, and I remember I was about 5, and my dad came round with just a big black rubbish sack filled with clothes.
Oh wow!
And they were, I can't remember if they were op shop or just my younger brother's leftovers, but that was a bit of a disappointing Christmas, to be 5 and just get a whole bunch of second-hand clothes for Christmas.
Yeah.
One of the best gifts, which was quite a surprise, is I used to sit there at, anywhere when I was younger and just tap my feet, tap my hands, tap to music, tap to nothing, random beats, different things. And I was about 12, and my parents got me a cheap drum set.
That's sick.
But I had high anxiety as well, and so I remember, they're like, your present's in the shed, blindfolded me, opened it up, and there's a drum kit, and then they went, oh, play us something, and sat there and stared at me, and I was just like, I don't know what I'm doing, I just tap
Have you
random
ever-
shit.
did you-
That literally happened
Like-
to me. The electric guitar, and I was like year 9 or something, and I was too scared to even play it, man.
Yeah.
I didn't want to be
Well, it
noisy in the house
wasn't-
or
it was
anything.
a cool gift, and I did use it a few times, but then my dad's mates ended up doing like a semi-band practice type thing, and they asked to borrow the drum kit. This was only like a month or 2 after I got it. It then stayed at his mate's place for I think 3 years before I finally got it back. And at that time I was, 15, 16, mid-teenager. I didn't give a shit about practicing drums. I was focused on partying and drinking
partying.
alcohol and all that kind of stuff. So it ended up getting sold not long after I got it back.
Wild. That's wild, eh?
It's a lot better than what my memory. But apart from that bag of fucking clothes, that's pretty shocking. One thing I'll never forget is we all sat down around the Christmas tree one morning. It would have been like maybe 10, 11. And my mum used to do a family Christmas present for all 4 of us.
Yep.
For me, my 2 sisters, and my mum. So like something that we can all do together or use together. And I was like, all right, can I open this one this year? And I was like, cool, but I wonder what it's going to be. It's like a big box. I was like, oh yeah, this is going to be the Xbox 360 that I wanted. Oh, that we all wanted. And then I was like, oh, I started opening it up. I was like,
What was it?
why the hell did you get a shared Christmas present that I cannot even use?
What was it?
A hair straightener.
You never know.
I didn't need to. Didn't need to. My hair was perfect curly. It was nice and curly whirly, so I've never wanted to straighten my hair. And I was like, nah, this is lame. This is lame. But my sisters and my mum, they loved it. I was like, just sitting there all grumpy. I was like, well, that was cool. Yeah, I was not happy that Christmas.
Yeah, that's why I like to try and teach the stepson to focus on the giving rather than the getting.
Yeah.
Because I remember doing that as a kid too, and getting something, and it was a great gift, but just not exactly suitable or what you wanted, and you'd get quite disappointed. Whereas the joy of giving someone a thoughtful gift that they actually enjoy and light up at and all of that, like, you know, the feeling that your mum would have had when giving that to your sisters would have been great.
It was pure laughter.
And more
She was just
focusing on
laughing at me.
that than the disappointment of not getting everything you exactly want, you know?
Yeah.
It reminds me of when I was like 12 or something. I really stepped up my game, and I decided to get a whole bunch of my like aunts and stuff presents. I bought them like plates and stuff, and it was a really rewarding experience, you know, like actually doing all that. Obviously, it wasn't a feasible thing to do that all the time, but it was cool. Like, it really is net positive.
Buying Christmas presents for people is so expensive. I've always liked the idea of making presents for people.
I also like the idea of that.
Like if you've got the capability of making something and then being able to give it to them, they can tell that you put time into it. And if it's something that they're actually going to use, they'll probably be so thankful for it. Like, I don't know, someone like Chad, for example, could just give someone a plant that they have always wanted but never wanted to, and he would know exactly how to grow it.
Just give plant people plants.
Exactly.
Did that last year, gave the mother-in-law a couple feed growers.
Yeah.
And yeah.
They're happy as days. And you can always play with your specialty in that regard, and it's almost no cost here, especially for... It is a cost for Chad because it's his business, and just in case, for those who didn't know, we're actually filming this lovely set in his greenhouse, and it's a beautiful place.
It's also very hot.
It is.
Yep, and it's overcast today.
Wow.
Keeps
Wow.
us out from the weather, but we wanted to do an outdoorish one.
Nice to have some green in the background.
Yeah, I'm a fan.
They almost look like mistletoes, these ones.
They are an evergreen oak. So they produce tiny little acorns that ducks and birds and wildlife.
So they almost
eat.
are like mistletoes.
They're very annoying to deal with, though. They're very scratchy.
I can see from here.
Yeah, very, very thick-leaved plants.
And then Fabian could make an app for someone.
I'm not doing that. Oh, stuff that. With the Christmas stuff again, like with Christmas trees, do you guys know anything about why Christmas trees
Google.
became the deal? Because it's a very distinctive experience. I especially think of the smell, right? The smell of a pine tree.
I guess people used to make like pine needle tea around Christmas time because of the winter.
A thing, is it?
Christmas trees, we have them because of ancient traditions of using evergreens to symbolise life in winter.
Wow.
I don't know. One thing I want to try is
Wow.
pine needle tea. Yeah.
That merged with German 16th century customs of decorating trees with candles to represent Christ as the light of the world.
Man, did you put any candles in your trees?
I don't have a
And
tree.
then German immigrants spread
Oh, you have
that
a tree?
practice to America.
We do this year.
Yeah. I don't like getting trees, especially when my place is too cramped.
Fair enough.
I wouldn't know where to put it.
Putting candles on the tree sounds quite cool. How did they do that back then?
I'm not sure.
They must have had like a case for it. Like
Yeah,
a
I
lantern
guess.
case. Like a small lantern case. Surely.
Find some old illustrations.
'Cause it would make sense because, you know, otherwise the tree would catch on fire.
But yes, because most of the time the celebrations would go on in a winter solstice. So having an evergreen tree that stays, so evergreen and deciduous for people that don't know, deciduous trees lose their leaves during winter. Evergreen is exactly that, it's forever green. So it would represent Christ's eternal life essentially, and before like Christ was associated with it, it was more the hope of the renewing life in spring through seeing that evergreen tree in the middle of winter.
That is cool.
Still, yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah, there's I think it's Sweden or something, where they put like this big straw statue in the center of town, and every single year it gets burnt down. And it's like a tradition that people always try and burn down this dog or reindeer or something that's made out of straw. And they have live recordings that you can watch it every single year. I don't know, I can't remember what it's about, but I know it's normally put up around winter time.
Oh, it is actually in the Bible not to put up a Christmas tree though.
What?
Jeremiah 10 apparently tells us not to erect a tree in our home and decorate it with silver and gold. We are not to do what the pagans do. Our Creator has given us a list of holidays which we are to observe.
Whoa, wait. Is this like the Revised Testament and stuff as well? This is
sure.
interesting.
Yeah.
But that is quite interesting considering it is associated now with mainly Christianity and the birth of Christ.
That's crazy.
The more you know.
I just think of some of the ways in which society's going with diversity and stuff, and where some of the rules and mindsets can sit with particular communities and religious spaces and places, and then Christmas trees get the pass. That's very fascinating.
I don't understand it. Like, what's wrong with a Christmas tree?
Well, it was just as Chad just said, it's
It doesn't directly mention Christmas trees.
Is it just a tree?
wow.
It
sounds
warns
like a tree.
against decorating trees like idols and putting them in your home.
That's a Christmas tree.
Yeah, sounds exactly.
That
like
is definitely a Christmas tree.
Because
There's
then you
nothing
put
else
the
in a
holy
house
angel on the top, or the holy
that
star.
gets more than that, perhaps, other than like an urn. If you light candles and incense around that and pay attention and respect to that. But a Christmas tree sounds exactly like that.
And because winter evergreens were more associated with pagan ideology, Christianity tended to avoid them to focus solely on Christ, not on this idol, as they would call it, decorated in silver and gold and lights. And yeah.
Wow, that's really interesting. Is that reflected in the New Testament as well? Sorry, I don't.
Is there a New Testament?
Well, there's like multiple revisions of.
Is there?
Yeah. Yeah.
See, how can you revise a
The
text
word of-
that's written years ago that is meant to be essentially
I
an
guess they
absolute?
find an older version.
It's
Maybe they find the older version and revise it into like newer language.
It's not that. There's bigger changes than just the language.
Oh. Do they change a lot?
What are the major changes between them? I don't know enough about
I
the
don't
context,
know anything about it.
but I'm relatively sure the changes are not nothing. That's for sure.
The one thing you can ask me is if I know God, I'll say yes. Do you know God?
When you say no, what do you mean?
Do you know who God is?
Who?
Do you know what God is?
I feel closer to the what than the who. Yeah. Yeah.
I know God is everyone.
That's an aspect of it.
Yeah. God is who.
It
what
seems
you
like
make
they've
of it.
translated it to go along with social norms as well. So there was a story of an adulterous woman in John, which they completely removed.
Wow.
And also the book of Mark had a much longer ending apparently, which they threw forward.
Fascinating.
Also to update archaic words, so instead of casting away his garment, it became throwing off his cloak for clarity.
I kind of missed the old one, to be honest.
That's the old what?
Cast away his garment.
Cast away his garment.
I like it.
What's a garment? Like
Something
what
you
are
wear.
those fitness things?
What?
Those like Garmin watches.
No, he wasn't casting off his watch. Nah, what year
It
was
seems
that?
like they've also changed things for dramatic effect. So like Goliath's height in older manuscripts was 6'9",
Right.
whereas in KJV, it says here, which is an edition of the Bible, he's 10 foot.
That's kind of whack.
Kind of dramatise it, because 6'9" would have been massive back then, because 5 foot something would have been the average height of humans. But to make it seem more of a giant versus Goliath in today's age, they've made him 10 foot, whereas our average now is, 6'2" or something.
I mean,
like that,
I like it
6
from
foot.
the
Average is
thematic
5'10".
side of it, of making the story cool. But man, it would be kind of nice to have
You
it
can fact check
be
me on
more.
that if you
So
need.
over
Realistic, accurate.
30,000 changes were made.
What the hell?
Yeah,
Can we get some dubs in the chat, please?
dubs
Yeah. It's a big dub, bro. It's
for
a
the
big
30,000 changes.
So
I don't know if that's a dub.
I find it quite insane
Hold
how
the
many
L.
Bible stories aren't mentioned. Like you have your general ones like David and Goliath, Adam and Eve.
Who is David and Goliath?
But after David and Goliath, do you know how David became King David?
I don't even know
I'm
who
so
David
out of
is.
context with
David
it.
was the name of my landlord.
He got asked by the current king of the time. He went to the king and said, "Hey, I would like to marry your daughter." And he went, "You can have my daughter's hand if you bring me back." It was either 1,000 or 10,000 foreskins. And so then David went off, got these foreskins, came back, presented them to the king, married his daughter, and became the new King David.
What is that story?
Circumcision.
Why?
To have a clean penis.
What?
Gonna have a clean penis to marry my daughter.
Can you imagine this for a second? Like, the person you're going to partner with, or your child's going to partner with, has to be the type of person that's doing whatever Chad just told us about.
Well, there would have been. He might have been in some wars as well.
What?
Who knows? I don't even know who David is. I'm just speculating at this
You
point.
know a little bit about him because of what he did.
No, that's now that's what got me
Apparently,
speculating.
it wasn't 1,000, it was 100 apparently. So King Saul demanded 100 Philistine foreskins as a bride price for his daughter,
Now, what did he want with
intending
that?
for David to die while trying to get them.
Oh.
However, David successfully killed 200 Philistines and presented their foreskins to Saul, fulfilling his demand and marrying his daughter.
So it
The
would have
story
been around
is
wartime.
found in 1 Samuel 18 to 25.
He's a badass if he can kill 200 Philistines. But was it murder or was it during war?
You'd have to read the Bible.
No thanks.
But yeah, David
I should probably
doubled
do
the
it just
requirement.
so I can have like something to go off of, you know. But I don't really want to.
Wow, that is
Pretty
an
atheist.
interesting story.
Okay, in the New International Version, David took his men with him and went out and killed 200 Philistines and brought back their foreskins.
Oh, so he
They
didn't do it
counted
all
out the
alone.
full number to the king so that David might become the king's son-in-law. Then Saul gave him his daughter Michal in marriage.
That's crazy. Did he do this around Christmas time?
Probably not.
Thankfully not.
Doesn't have a time, but it is in
Imagine
most
that.
versions of the Bible,
Imagine giving someone
So that's the story they
200
keep.
foreskins for
saying
Christmas.
that he arose, went out, and killed 200 Philistines for their foreskins.
What was wrong with the Philistines?
We really need to invite a special guest to give us the context.
Do
on
we
this stuff
know?
next time.
Do we know any religious people?
Yeah.
Yeah. I can't say I personally know anyone that's heavily. Actually, no, I do. My nana. Yeah, my dad's mum. She's like heavily religious.
It does say here in 2 Samuel that when the time of mourning was over, David brought his partner to his house. She became his wife and bore him a son. But the thing that David had done was evil in the sight of the Lord.
So he was abandoned by God. But isn't God supposed to be all forgiving and forgives all sins? You know, that's my understanding. Like, you could go do the most heinous acts and then you just go ask God for forgiveness and he'll forgive you.
I really hope he doesn't just let you off the hook. I'd rather not.
It's actually amazing the contrast from like the Devil's Bible to
Is there
the
a
actual
Devil's Bible?
There is.
I wanna
But
read
there
that one.
is like 100 times more sacrifice, death, killing, foreskin gathering, all that kind of stuff in the Bible, whereas I don't think there's any mention of sacrifice in the Devil's Bible.
It's ironic, isn't it? That's fascinating. Maybe we have to get both the books and do a review.
Hey, next episode's going to be the Bible book review of 2026. Stay tuned. And that wraps up episode 6 of Unscripted. Filmed out here at the nursery, probably the chillest Christmas setting we've had yet. Today we kept it real simple. Christmas. The myths, the legends, the scary stuff, the wholesome stuff, and even a bit about the Bible toward the end. From Krampus to old European folklore to how the season actually became what it is. It was a different kind of conversation and honestly, one of the rawest we've done. If you enjoyed hanging with us out here among the plants, hit subscribe, drop a comment, and let us know what other holiday origins or weird stories you want us to break down. Thanks for tuning in. Stay safe, stay curious, and have yourself a Merry Christmas.